Two drunk assholes talking about whatever comes to mind. We present Filler with Jack Fike and Rob Harper. Filler is Jack and my insane rambling.
In this episode of Filler, we talk about some TV shows including The Expanse, Game of Thrones, Jessica Jones, and some other stuff. We do join the conversation in progress.
Please do note that we are extremely drunk during these recordings, so if we do sound like unintelligent fools, just forgive us.
Respecting the source material, it's popular for a reason. The fans like it for a reason. You want to entertain the fans as well as everyone else. Don't think you're better than the fans that made it popular, and don't.
Yeah, so far George R. R. Martin and sci-fi generally, I think sci-fi gets it now. See, sci-fi's had like a resurgence. They used to be like Sharknado and stuff. Now they seem to be coming on. They have a lot of good shows now. And
yeah, like you can only play like The Outer Limits and just
wrestling. They had wrestling on for a long time.
I haven't had cable in a decade.
I don't. Yeah,
so.
I don't watch it on the show.
No, but
it's good. Yeah, Expanse, and now if they get that wild card show off its feet.
But it's better to.
I think they fear Netflix because Netflix is getting all these great shows, and they know that we should be having these shows. Why is Netflix eating these shows?
Yeah. Or where if they'd have been a viable source for good science fiction, maybe instead of going to Netflix, Sci-Fi could have, in this alternate universe that we're discussing, could have said, "Hey, Marvel."
Especially after Battlestar, they had a lot of clout after Battlestar. They could have gotten some of this stuff, yeah.
But sticking to the source material rather than being trying to insult the people who are the fans because you're too stupid. You read comic books, you're stupid. I'm making movies. Well, can't you understand that I'm better than you?
That's the DC philosophy of life.
Yeah.
But have you seen those commercials for Shannara, the Shannara Chronicles or whatever?
No.
Oh, they're like it's a book series. I don't know who wrote it. I think it's one of the famous fantasy writers. I don't think it's Terry Pratchett, but it may be McCaffrey maybe. And McCaffrey maybe.
Okay.
I guess I could look it up. Right, like literally.
Okay, so it's a series,
and it's not. It looks a little cheesy, and it's got John Rhys Davies as like the king kind of in it. So that might be a bad thing.
Oh, but that as casting goes, like even Sliders era.
That's the thing.
He would have been a good choice, but now
Terry Brooks wrote it.
Oh, okay.
Did I say that? No, I said Pratchett.
But now I can only imagine what he looks like, old and grizzled. He
looks kind of the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't look much. He looks skinnier.
But
I think he plays an elf king.
It's been 20 years though. How can he be?
He looks skinny, like an old man skinny. You know?
How could he be skinnier and not much older?
Well, maybe makeup. But it's like there's dragons but it's a little cheesy, but it could be fun. I don't know.
I have not heard of it, so
it's another. I think it's on Sci-Fi. Or no, maybe it's on USA Network.
There's such a flood of entertainment right now. It is. Ash vs. Evil Dead is just wrapping up. The next episode is the last one. But by then, Legends of Tomorrow,
MTV. That's where that shows on MTV of all places. Shannara.
That's the second time someone said MTV is showing a show, and I went, is that still a thing? Like, I didn't know MTV existed.
They don't even do music anymore. Now they're doing this show. But you're saying about
what was it? MTV is doing something, and I'm like, oh.
I interrupted your thoughts from before.
Yeah. Oh, it was such a glut of entertainment. Like, I could not possibly watch it all.
Yeah, I know. There's so many good shows out there that I just like. Everybody, Orphan Black and Blacklist and Continuum, and
there are some good shows that people say are great shows that I will never be able to watch, and I know that in my heart.
Which is why I'm not finishing Jessica Jones. I don't think it's just I can't put my time and effort into something I'm not interested in.
Yeah. Just because it has Marvel on the title
doesn't. This will be the first one, though.
Doesn't mean you don't. It doesn't mean like you don't have control over what you ingest as entertainment.
But now that it used to be this like the beginning of the superhero thing. Any superhero movie came out, you had to watch it because you wanted superheroes. It didn't matter what it was. And then slowly they got so many that you could I'm not watching that one because I'm not interested in that. And now it's getting to that with TV. There's so many superhero TV shows. I can actually choose not to watch a superhero TV show.
20 years ago, it would have been like, oh my God, she's a superhero. You couldn't have shown nearly any of the stuff that was on there on TV 20 years ago on network
But
television.
even like Supergirl, too.
But yeah, There's just so much.
Back when I was a kid, I would be watching Supergirl because it would have been like, wow, it's a superhero on TV. I don't care what the superhero is, you know. I watched The Tick. I watched the original Flash back in the day, like
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman, really back in the day. Yep. Yeah, it's because you didn't have anything else. Now there's so much. We're just surrounded by content.
Yeah, and you're not missing anything by not finishing Jessica Jones.
I know.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
But eventually I will just be like, okay, just tell me what happened so that I can just... I'm just on the edge of like, will I watch it or won't I watch it? I know there's big spoilers ahead. And
in another 4 episodes, it starts to get better.
See, that's the thing. 4 episodes to get better? Like, that's a long time.
You've got 4 hours.
Can I just skip episodes?
If I knew exactly
you could tell me the best ofs, and
because I think
maybe I can look it up. Maybe I can watch.
Yeah, I would do that instead.
Yeah, I do that with like old shows. Like
there's a good 3 episodes where it's like, oh my god, this is the show they meant.
Because I now have the concept. I don't really care exactly what happens in the middle. Just get me to the resolution kind of thing.
It finally hits its stride to what I thought the show was going to be, and then it said, oh no, that was just like a little aberration. That was just a little. And then it goes to something else entirely. And
But the question is, now that you watch Jessica Jones, are you excited or not excited for the Power Man, for the Luke Cage?
Luke Cage, I liked that actor. I liked that character. And as Jessica Jones as a background character in another show, like I told you, it should have been Patsy Walker.
Show, yeah. Everybody says that, though. Every single person says that.
Because that's the show that people wanted to see. The writer wrote... I don't like the writing. The script was bad, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sorry. The script was bad. Now, you're writing a Marvel show on Netflix on the heels of Daredevil when all the Marvel movies, Ant-Man's just coming out. Like you are starting on second base. Mm-hmm. You don't even have to go to bat. You don't even have to,
And they didn't even get to third base. It took 13 episodes to get to third base.
And really, I'm surprised that it didn't, that there wasn't some quality control or some script or someone didn't step in. But
a lot of people like it. There's a lot of people liked it. The way I think it's if you like noir, slow burn things, you're more into it, but maybe it's our culture nowadays. I need a little bit faster.
It's vaguely noir. It's got a hint. It's got a Sin City kind of vibe to it, but it's not. And there is a slow burn on maybe 2 elements. The rest is just slow for slow's sake.
Well, it's slow because they had 13 episodes to fill.
Well, and we discussed that already. That they tried to fill. I say it's probably 7 episodes. They could have condensed it down.
It was a 7-episode series. They doubled. And there's parts where you can really tell. Hopefully they learn that for the next ones. Maybe Luke Cage will only be 10 episodes. Or
hey, a different writer could have enough in them.
Because wasn't Daredevil's only 10 episodes, right?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
I think it was, so... I don't know why they changed the number for this one.
I like the Luke Cage actor with a different writer, and the directing wasn't that bad in Jessica Jones.
That's fine.
It was good. I
didn't think the writing was bad. It's just slow.
David and I can tell you, not much pays off.
See, that's the thing.
A lot of stuff gets just brushed aside. And it's like, oh, no, and it's treated like afterthought, and then some other things that should have just been an afterthought
they really dwell on.
It's okay. This is the 2nd episode where we're discussing minutia of something that's pretty.
David Tennant was creepy as hell,
and he gets even creepier.
Well, I don't think.
Yeah,
he's creepy no matter what.
I could tell you, and you'd be like this. What? And then. Yeah, Jessica Jones is not great, but I am looking forward to Luke Cage, not as much as I was before.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones, I've kind of had to go,
And the Punisher show is going to be interesting.
Punisher show, he's going to start out on Daredevil.
And he seems really into I think he looks good as Punisher. I think he's the right kind of guy to be Punisher.
Yeah.
And, nobody's good as Thomas Jane, obviously. But he also, he really is into it. He's he keeps posting things about it, and it's great to see an actor who's really into the role.
Who's not ashamed to be in a comic book movie. He's not just collecting a paycheck.
He's actually going out and researching and living the life. He's killed some mobsters.
Yeah, he's literally just started executing criminals in the streets. So,
he's doing good. Good God's work.
Yeah. That method acting.
Speaking of Thomas Jane, of course, we've talked about Expanse.
Yeah. Again, another thing that's come out that, like, even if you're superheroed out, I don't want to see another Cape.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. Well, there's Sci-Fi is now making a comeback too.
Because we really liked
Dark Matter.
Dark Matter, yeah. Very Canadian, but very it reminds me of the old Andromeda and those kind of shows, which I loved.
It appears that our niche for television and movies is producing and doing the sets and design and supplying actors for science fiction.
Canadians, yeah.
Because you cannot watch anything where it's like, oh, we need a spaceship.
Everything's filmed in Vancouver, and
a guy in the background is going to walk by and going, "Hey, everybody!" He'll be wearing a toque and the plaid black
and all
and
the
red.
actors on all these shows are Canadian. And
yeah, it's fun, but
it's just for some reason I think it's just super cheap to make these in Canada stuff, and they're like Orphan Black. I think is filmed in Canada too.
It's our strong suit. We found something that we're great at, and
literally from Andromeda. I think Andromeda was when it started, and then all those like used to be syndication, which there is no real syndication anymore. Now they're just cable shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dark Matter is really great, and Expanse is just like, as I would keep saying, it's Game of Thrones in space.
Now we had the first episode was leaked, and I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah, they always do that nowadays, so they'll let the first one go.
But then
you could watch it also after it was leaked. They also had it on sci-fi.com or whatever for free to watch.
Then after the second episode, 3 and 4 were leaked, and I'm doing air quotes
over the
again.
Christmas holidays too. So
and I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I don't blame you. Strike while the iron's hot. Well, you got a good word of mouth. Well,
yeah,
a lot of shows are breaking for Christmas.
Yep, get people watching your show. Yep.
Get them hooked.
And everybody who's talked about Expanse says the same thing. It's like, wow, this is actually really good.
Yeah, they throw a lot at you.
Right. The first episode is like, I don't know what the hell happened, but I like the feel. And then by the second and third and fourth episodes, you're like, okay, I'm in.
But I still don't know what the hell happened.
You don't know what happened in the first episode.
No,
but at least after that, you had something to hold on to. You had like Thomas Jane's character and then Holden on the other side. You get something to hold on to. The first episode, there wasn't much to hold on to. You're like, what? It keeps going to different things, and you're like grasping at who's the actual main characters. Like you said, half the main characters die in the second episode, I guess.
Second episode, a full spaceship full of people. I'm like, oh, the captain. I know him from something. Oh, the hot blonde navigation officer. I was like,
spoilers, by the way.
She's a great actress. She's really easy on the eyes, and also I'm going to enjoy watching her for the next.
She's a good actress. Season. That's interesting relationship with that. Oh,
and
they left a cliffhanger like she was going to tell him something. We'll never know what she was going to tell him.
No, she's now Adams.
Unless maybe not. Maybe there's something crazy cuckoo stuff going on. There was that weird portal in the very first
episode. What if that ship got sucked into a portal?
Exactly.
Okay.
We thought it was a nuke that took them out. Well, they did explode, but maybe all the people got transported out. There's no transporting. Who knows? Maybe their consciousnesses got sucked into something. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I recognized crew members. They had people in the background.
They had one guy lose his arm, and they thought that was going to be a thing,
and then puff, they're gone. Yeah. Like,
so it is interesting.
I can see how between the first and second, if you didn't watch them back to back,
I didn't watch them back to back.
You might get lost on some parts, and I can see how once you get the 4 under your belt in a marathon,
I watched 3 and 4 back to back.
Then they got you, so I can see why they did it.
Well, I was like, I'm going to watch 3 because they both leaked, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch them, but I don't want to watch them all. I'll probably save 4, watch 3. I was like, I got to watch 4 because you can't stop once you start.
Because I think one of our protagonists was actually pinned to a wall by a spike. So you did want to see what happened to him.
But it's it's a great show.
I like the character development. I like the feel. I like the background. It's a lived-in world.
Great world building, yeah.
There's everything you want in sci-fi.
No character that you're not interested in. There's like old Indian lady on Earth that you think's evil but isn't, or is she?
I never thought she was evil.
Yeah, but you don't think the Boltons are evil.
I'm not saying some of the Boltons are evil. I believe there might be like a Stan Bolton somewhere who did
Ramsay
terrible
Bolton is evil.
He
is evil personified.
I beg to differ.
Game of Thrones.
He is justice personified.
He is the hand of God, sort of.
He is the spirit of
Except
vengeance.
for, what's her name that really deserved to be raped? She was an
Sansa?
idiot, but she didn't deserve to be raped.
Well,
That's the one thing he went too far, I think.
the whole Game of Thrones would never have happened, unfolded the way it did with the downfall of Starks.
She started it.
If Sansa hadn't wanted to be a princess
Yeah.
and overlooked Joffrey's terribleness and said, I would rather go to King's Landing, Dad, will you follow me? If she would have said,
Could she have said no?
I think if she would have said, Dad, that kid's a creepy little bastard, and I would rather stay here and be with my family than go off with that straw-haired creep.
Problem is, he probably would have survived, and it'd be worse overall, because he wouldn't have been killed. It's hard to say, because the people who killed him were still around. What's her name ended up? Speaking of which, is it Natalie Dormer? What's her name?
Yes.
Yes, she is super hot.
That was a very slick
Well,
non sequitur.
you saw the thing where Jennifer Lawrence kissed her on the lips by mistake.
Yeah.
I saw a picture later where they're just laughing about it, and it's just like, wow, she is so hot.
Oh yeah, she's
And next to Jennifer Lawrence, who's super hot, Natalie Dormer makes Jennifer Lawrence not look hot.
yeah, she looks like I would like a double please. Like she looks like someone who would be serving coffee rather than
Compared to, yeah, because Natalie Dormer's super hot. Anyway, that was just an aside.
And that was quite the aside.
But, yeah. So it's interesting, that whole, who knows what's going on there.
So is that having her entire, like, because of her mother's throat was slit, her brother watched his unborn baby stabbed to death, and then he was shot with crossbows.
I thought you were talking about Natalie Dormer. Yeah, you're talking about Sansa.
Like,
yeah.
If all that rests on her, and I do believe it does, is rape the proper...
No, rape is never the answer. Should be killed.
Rape is never the answer.
That should be a bumper sticker.
that is. I'll make T-shirts up.
Rape is never the answer.
Rape is never the answer.
Yeah, Reek deserved everything he got.
Oh, yes, and
I wish there was more Greyjoy action. I like the Greyjoys.
Now my girlfriend is of the opinion that Theon got more than he deserved, and I still contend that he's still got a little coming.
I think he got exactly what he deserved.
But that's because I think murdering children's wrong. So
yeah, that's why
that's where I am.
They did take his manhood. What more can you have to? And treated him like a dog.
That's true. And that's how I believe in real life. Someone who kills and burns children should
doesn't matter if they're princes or not. It doesn't matter who.
Nope. See, that's why I can get behind a Ramsay Bolt.
And he killed the Meister too.
Oh yeah. He cut the head off of that Maester and
did a poor job of it too.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's Game of Thrones is gonna be awesome this season. I think it's gonna be interesting if they do that flash forward, flash back thing. That should be weird. So because I guess they don't want to answer the question: is Jon Snow dead? They don't want to answer: is Sansa and Reek dead? Which we know they're not. They just jumped to the snowbank. Really. They have obviously done that many times off the top of the wall.
Yeah, they lived there their entire lives. They
knew they could survive that jump.
They would know where on the wall that they could probably as kids leap into the snow and tee-hee.
Jon Snow, he should be dead, but I think he's going to be saved. And then obviously the return of Bran should be. It was boring as crap with him before, but maybe him as a druid might be more interesting.
I like Osha. I like the actress. I think she's
still kicking around.
She took the Rickon and buggered off somewhere.
Oh yeah, we don't even know where the hell they are.
Who knows? I liked her. I liked Hodor just as a
Where's Hodor now?
Hodor still should be carrying Bran,
but Bran's dropped off to the tree. So
maybe Hodor, he's going to come out of the tree and go,
well, the girl's still alive too, right?
I had all these visions. And it's just a giant skeleton of Hodor.
Or the girl's still around too, right? The other girl.
And a skeleton of
I don't remember her name.
Yeah, the brother was killed by the skeletons.
But I can't remember her name. Yeah. She was cool too. They were fine. It was a boring storyline. Nothing happened with them.
At one point where he could have yelled out to Jon Snow when they were raiding Caster's Keep, and I thought...
I understand why they didn't, because he would have stopped them from completing his mission.
Yeah.
We've never let his crippled brother keep going into the wild.
That's an assumption that he made as a child that may or may not have been true, but I enjoyed that part, but for the most part, I would have not. Every minute of that I think was wasted of that trip could have been hard home where...
See, that's the difference between Game of Thrones and its Expanse so far. Maybe it's because Expanse is so new. There's nothing in Expanse I find boring, where Game of Thrones, there's always one storyline I'm like, I don't care about this.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was what's her name? The Mother of Dragons.
Oh, Daenerys, yeah.
She was kind of boring to me. And she's... It still annoys me how weak and useless the Unsullied are.
Yeah.
They're the most useless super fighters ever.
They had to be
She
badass.
did steal them, and they were just slaves. Like, maybe it was a sales trick to say that they were the best fighters on the planet.
I'm guessing that what it comes down to is
The guy,
they're
before
good
he was
soldiers,
killed,
but she made them turn on
Yeah.
the masters, and maybe the masters were like generals and were the strategists.
and she also tried to use soldiers as policemen, which never works.
No. That is a fact.
And if it turns out the guys in the golden masks are some not just noblemen and crap, not just regular people, but actually maybe the sons of
Seven Sons.
Yeah,
Or
if someone who's actually good fighters, I would forgive that. But the fact that just like random villagers can kill Unsullied is stupid.
what if they were former gladiators? Because they did close the pits. What if they were all like fighting men?
And also, the Unsullied were fighting in like close quarters with giant spears.
Yeah.
Not the smartest weapons to use in close quarters.
Someone should have advised Daenerys that you're using people who set up on a battlefield
Yeah.
in phalanxes. Now you're making them run through cramped city streets.
Yeah.
You're-
And I love at the end of all this, she's going to have none of them left, and she's going to be like, I learned a lesson here. Meanwhile, there's all these corpses around her.
It's gonna be her Missandre, her I don't know, maiden or whatever.
Yeah. Mate now, yeah.
Sure, whatever her designation is.
Translator.
She's a translator, but also like, long story short, if she's just like looking like horrified over a field of all the people, especially Grey Worm, who she falls in love with, all corpses, and Daenerys is like, Next time I won't do it that way. No. Drogon, maybe I'll go to you first. Then maybe use some people.
And now she's back with the barbarians, so
Yeah.
I assume they'll know who she was.
I'm guessing they left it like, oh my god, she's going to be captured, raped, and murdered by this Cal, whoever. I'm going to guess that
She's going to return to her roots and realize what she should have been doing the whole time.
at some point, even if they pretend to menace her with some people, oh, you're our slave or whatever, someone's going to go, oh, you don't know who this is?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, remember me? I did this. I did that. I'm one of the people that you
They got a
freed."
name for her. What was her name? Yeah.
Yeah, like this. Oh, well, without a Cal, she's a nothing. No.
All of a sudden, on the hill behind her, you just see Drogon. Ah!
You'd think so, but remember how it's the strongest rule? She
got
has a dragon.
At least one.
So I'm going to tell you right now, I used to hang with
Are
Khal...
the other two dragons still imprisoned?
Yeah.
Poor guys. They're probably not even getting fed anymore.
I used to hang with Khal Drogo. Remember him? He used to, like, be your boss? Well, she was in charge, and I'm just going to give you this word of advice. She helped a lot of us.
She was lit on fire, didn't die.
Yeah, so how about, like, even if they pretend at first that she's in danger, it's gonna...
She's gonna end up rallying all those guys to come help her.
But you know what Game of Thrones does? That, like we were talking about Jessica Jones, Game of Thrones is, what is it, 20 episodes?
Mm-hmm. No, is it even that much?
It's a very small...
Mm-hmm. It's less than that, I think.
It's 12 episodes, 10 episodes.
Something like that, yeah.
It is compact. I miss it when it's gone. It comes too fast and it's over.
It's also not released all at once. Maybe that's the problem with Jessica Jones. If I had to, every week I get to another one, I wouldn't get sick of it so fast, maybe?
Oh, but I've marathon things and just could not get enough. Jessica Jones, I was begging for release.
But I mean,
I wanted death to come. I wanted the Grim Reaper to come.
But it might be something about that, right? Like,
and he'd be offering to play a game for my soul.
Yeah, each one's 10 episodes. Each season's 10 episodes. That's perfect. Short. They should all TV shows should be 10 episodes twice a year. That's the problem with Game of Thrones does it. It's once a year. 10 episodes twice a year.
Game of Thrones, they know what their budget is. They know how much story they have to tell, and they do it right. You can complain all you want about, this last season was bad. I'm done with Game of Thrones because it's not bad. It's not maybe season 2 and 3, but it's not bad television.
Oh no, it's still better than most. Yeah.
10 episodes, compact. Jessica Jones didn't have that much story in it. Had 7 episodes.
I wonder how many episodes the Expanse is planning on.
That is a good question.
So far, it says 9 on the episodes, but that might be just because that's all they've announced so far.
I think 9 is the bare bones basic. You have to have 9 to be a show, and then you get midway through that, you get to see the back half. They'll start making shows or cancel to make the full season. So they must have enough in the can to be a show to run its not its course, but to get to the point where people go, okay, you're renewed. We want either the back half on this season or
if Sci-Fi kept Defiance for 4 seasons, I think if they kept that, definitely Expanse will at least make 4 seasons.
For all its faults, I enjoyed Defiance.
Defiance was good. It's just not the quality of Expanse.
No, God, no. I liked Defiance's world. I liked the characters. Some of the characters were top notch.
Defiance seemed to me like a comic book or video game, which it was, where Expanse seems like a book, which it is. Like you could tell the difference, The
source material that it stuck to. I don't necessarily think that Thomas Jane is much different than Nolan.
Yeah, similar actor. Yep. Similar character,
similar
actually.
Actors,
Both cops.
Similar characters.
Nolan has a bit more honor than Thomas Jane's character. Nolan would never just take bribes. And I don't, not like that.
And you could parallel those if they were the main character, and you could kind of compare the shows. But
I don't even think Thomas Jane's the main character in Expanse.
That's where I'm going. Nolan was the main character. Thomas Jane is in the background or an ensemble.
He's definitely one of the main characters, but I think Holden's the main character.
That's more of an ensemble cast, whereas this was Nolan's journey. After watching the last one, if there's any question going through, because it did start going because the husband and wife with the white hair,
whatever they were,
both superior actors kind of made the rest look amateur.
They were the best actors on the show, for sure.
The best characters, the best written characters, the best story arc. The show did
sometimes
wander
on them,
and I did not mind that at all. In fact, I enjoyed that.
But then in the end, it was Nolan's story.
But it was Nolan's story, because if you saw the last episode, there's no question from his start coming in from nowhere to leaving to nowhere. Mm-hmm. It was Nolan's story. I think the difference is Expanse will not have a person's story. It's
more of an ensemble.
The Expanse is the hero, not
the whole universe itself. Yeah.
Yes, much like Game of Thrones isn't.
There's no one character. It's about the whole world.
It's about the throne.
Yep, it's true. So there you go.
Yeah, we didn't discuss any one particular topic. We kind of mattered.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's great.
You know what's better than all those movies like The Avengers, or Iron Man, or Man of Steel, or Dark Knight Rises? You know what's better than all that?
The porn parodies that were released shortly after them.
And Vinland Old Time Radio. You know why?
Because today's youth want old-timey radio productions, variety shows, via a podcast format.
Because the budget of the imagination is unlimited.
That. I'm going to trademark that. Trademark. Is that how trademarks work? You just blurt it out?
I think so.
Okay.
VinlandOldTimeRadio.podbean.com. Come for the funny. Stay for the alcohol.
And the budget of the imagination.